Good day everyone, good day ma'am. We are in room 11.
So today we will discuss about the different ways of classifying the world. But before that, we would like to introduce ourselves. I am Rhea May Subebe.
I am Angel Exman Sausal.
I am Kristen May Sintasas.
I'm Jamin Tante.
So at this moment, allow me to read the objectives of this discussion. So first is, at the end of this discussion, we will be able to understand the purpose of classifying the world, to identify the front line, to understand the three world model, and to learn the north-south divide.
So the question is, why we classify countries? So it's like putting book on a bookshelf. You wouldn't just throw your books together, right? So you group them by topic like history, science, fiction, and math. Classifying countries is similar. We group them by things like their government, how rich they are, or what their people are like. This helps us understand how different countries work and how they might interact with each other. So next is the three world model. So what is the three world model? So the three world model is a system, a way of classifying countries based on their political and economic systems. So the first world is was generally the richest due to strong economics and advanced technology. Model is the Western Europe, North America, Japan, and Australia. So the second world is communist or formerly communist states. Example is Soviet Union and Eastern European bloc, historically relevant, less applicable post-Cold War. So the second world had some resources but less well due to its certainly planned system. So the third world is developing or less developed countries, often characterized by poverty, instability, and dependence. Next is the limitations of the three world model. So we have here the oversimplification. So the model is like putting all the toys in the world into just few boxes. The real world is much more complicated than that. Centered bias is like saying that only certain countries are more important and others are less. And next is static. The world is always changing. This model doesn't show how countries can get richer or poorer over time. And next is the pejorative. Third world can sound like it's putting down certain countries. It's not nice to use words that make people mad.
Economic classifications. Economic classification is the process of categorizing economies into groups based on a certain criteria. So MEDC is more economically developed countries which has high income, strong industrial base, advanced technology, and high living standards. The example countries are the United States, Japan, Canada, and many European countries. LEDC is less economically developed countries, which has low to middle income, limited industrialization, often reliant on agriculture, lower living standards. All countries are Afghanistan, India, Cambodia, Bangladesh, and many more. Lastly is NIC, or newly industrialized countries, which is rapidly developing economies, growing industrial sectors, increasing global trade participations. The example countries of NIC are China, India, Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, and many more. Social human development refers to the process of improving people's well-being and capabilities within a society. HDI can help us understand how well a country is doing in terms of health, education, and standard of living. Social Progress Index assesses well-being based on basic human needs, foundations of well-being, and opportunity. Fragile States Index. These countries have characteristics that make it difficult for them to function effectively, since they may have weak governance, limited administrative capacity, or history of conflict.
The north-south divide shows that this part or this portion is the northern part, which is showing the wealthy or most developed countries, and this part is the developing countries. So they are still a part of the existing country because, as we all know, although they are not more on competitive when it comes to resources or wealth, but they have the resources of which can also provide their standards of living. So next would be the brown line. If you notice in this picture, these darkened lines is a brown line. So siya ang kibali direction or say an image for us to know the diversion or the differences between the two parts of the countries. So it shows the barrier of the two parts in our country, which is the north and south.
Contemporary classifications and groupings. We are as yes, they are originally used to describe a group of countries with rapid economic growth. G7, G8, G20, groups of major industrialized and emerging economies that hold significant global economic and political power. OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, focuses on promoting market economies and sustainability.
Globalization and interdependence. Globalization and interdependence have had a profound impact on the world. They have led to increased economic growth, reduced poverty, and increased cultural exchange. However, globalization and interdependence have also had some negative consequences, such as increased inequality, job losses, and environmental degradation. Overall, globalization and interdependence is complex with both positive and negative consequences. It is important to understand this concept in order to address the challenges and opportunities that they present. In conclusion, understanding global classification is for a better future. In an increasingly interconnected world, the ability to understand and utilize global classification is crucial for navigating the complexities of trade. These classifications provide standardized framework for understanding and interacting with the world around us. By understanding these systems, we can unlock opportunities for economic growth, foster international cooperation, and work towards a more equitable and sustainable future.
And that will be all. Thank you.